Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Mary
And Jerry,
podcast,
where we talk about
faith and family,
Christmas pajamas,
marriage, bacon.
matching Christmas pajamas. Who thought this was a good idea?
Actually, you did, but
Yeah,
okay.
These are actually our Hallmark
movie watching
pajamas because, you know, we have to match.
Yes,
because
that's
we're
sort of a
cute.
rule. Are
We're
we
cute.
cute?
Well, when we're wearing matching pajamas, we are.
We're
very
so
cute.
glad you're here.
Hey,
And when you're hearing this podcast, we'll be in the middle of Advent preparing for Christmas,
ho, ho,
which
ho.
is why you see us in these lovely pajamas in front of our Christmas tree. We were trying to figure out how to do the podcast because typically we're right in front of our famous blue wall, but the Christmas tree, of course.
You know, do you remember the dirty look the dog gave us when we put up the tree because we wouldn't let the dog bring in a stick? It's like, what, you won't let me bring in a stick, but you're going to put up a whole tree, but it's a fake tree. So
But it's a fake tree because everybody in this house is allergic
that
to
would actually
pine and
flummox
spruce.
the dog. She's like, this looks like a tree. It might be a tree. We're not going to find out if it's a tree like dogs like trees.
No, we are not. We are not.
Hey, yes. So it's by the time they get this podcast, it'll be the second week of Advent. So halfway there. Yes. And of course, this year, if anybody has looked at their calendar, you get a twofer on Sunday.
You get a twofer on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve actually lands
you actually
on
get
a
to be
Sunday.
like Baptist. You get to go to church twice that day.
So you get to go in the morning for your Sunday obligation, and then on in the evening or midnight for a Christmas obligation.
Yeah.
So
Twofer.
it's a twofer.
It's a twofer.
It happened several years ago. It happens, every 7 years.
Yes.
Funny how that works.
The Gregorian calendar is funny that way, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, so today, since it is the second Sunday of Advent, we decided to talk about
Advent and Christmas traditions, family traditions.
family traditions.
And how do you come up with family traditions? How do you honor your family traditions
what
from
are
your
the
family?
most famous Christmas
of
traditions in your family of origin? Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. We're going to tell stories.
Sweetheart, we
of
always tell
Christmases
stories.
long, long ago. It's the most. Do you know how many times I have already listened to the Andy Williams Christmas album?
All the way through?
Yes.
No, you have not listened to it once all the way through this year.
Yes, we have. Oh, yes, we
No.
have. All of those 60s vibes, baby, getting groovy with it. Oh, yeah.
No, you haven't listened to it all the way through. You've listened to certain songs from it. You've probably listened to maybe 4 songs because I put it on shuffle. So it's not, I haven't made you listen to it all the way through. That time is coming, mind you. The Andy Williams
Better
Christmas
Andy Williams
album.
than Mariah Carey.
True.
All I want for Christmas is you.
Wow.
But
no, that's my favorite Christmas album. I remember we used to have a turntable, of course, in our house.
in
I'm
the
sure you did.
massive
Stereo.
800-pound TV stereo liquor cabinet.
Yes.
You never knew as a kid. Over to the right, you had the turntable, you had the TV, and the right was a liquor
cabinet. Always together.
I know.
But we had the turntable, and we Mom had the Andy Williams Red Christmas album. She had Perry Como, the original Christmas album. She had Johnny Mathis, one where he's in the ski chalet.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
That's Nat King Cole. She had that one too.
I know. I've listened to that song like a gajillion times already.
And that's what we listened to. And then
You listen to the same Christmas playlist over
I
and
do.
over
I love it. And
over.
then sometime in the 80s, do you remember the Time Life Treasury?
Oh, yeah.
We used to get the CD in the mail.
Feliz Navidad. Dun, 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 dun. Feliz Navidad.
Wow, it's going to be that kind of show. Okay, so then she got the Time Life Treasury of Christmas Classics.
That's right.
Which we also have.
Santa baby, won't you bring me under the tree? You'll see.
No. We don't want her under the tree. Well, maybe he does. I don't know.
Hey, Santa does have the list of all the naughty girls. I'm just saying.
Okay, we're not going there. Nope.
I'm just saying.
PG-13. This is a clean podcast. Clean podcast. Anyway, so let's talk about family traditions. Before we get into some of our favorite traditions, why don't we talk about how you and I came up with what we were going to honor from our families of origin and what we were going to do new and different ourselves.
Well,
Do you remember these conversations that we had 35 years ago?
No, not really. We just sort of did Christmas because that very first Christmas, let me think for a second.
The very first Christmas together, we were in Oklahoma. No, we were in Oklahoma because you were in flight school.
The famous, no, wait.
You were in flight school in Sacramento.
No, you're missing the famous cow story. Do you remember that?
No. Okay, that's the very first before we were married. I'm talking about after we got married.
I have no memory of that, Senator.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, after we got married, Jerry, we were in Sacramento, California.
Were we in Sacramento our first year or were we in Pensacola?
No, sweetheart. We were in Pensacola for 6 weeks.
Oh, that's right. Then we went to
went to flight school.
Okay.
In Sacramento.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out in California before it was totally crazy and lunatic.
Well, it was still a little nutty then. But
they had a Republican governor, just saying. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. And for Thanksgiving, we had your entire class of...
Yes, the 22-pound turkey.
For all of the bachelors in flight school.
Yeah, that's not what you bought it. You bought it because you didn't know there was anything else in the world but a 22-pound turkey.
Very true, very true.
And then I said, what the heck are we going to do with the 22-pound turkey? And you're like, I don't know how to cook for less than 10. And I'm like, sweetheart, there's just the two of us. And then you're like, oh, well, let's invite all your friends.
And we did.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the Mongol horde. But because my wife is perfect, you sent them home with the doggy bags.
With doggy bags, yes, I did.
Okay, so Christmas.
Let's stay focused on this topic and let's not wander, okay? Because we have a tendency, Jerry Don.
As I wander.
Okay.
Do you hear what I hear?
Do. You're really distracted by the environment today. And it's kind of driving me a little crazy.
Shiny. It's shiny.
Everything is shiny for you today.
Everything is shiny for me today.
Okay, focus.
Okay, first Christmas we were married.
Right. We spent it in Oklahoma.
Yep.
Okay. With your family.
Yep.
And then we came home.
Yep.
And then soon after that, we were pregnant with Jonathan.
Yep.
So our second Christmas.
Yeah.
Jerry.
It's a family show. That's how we got a family.
Okay. The second year, we were in Brunswick, Maine.
Oh, my word. Freezing to death.
It was awesome. There was snow on the ground. It was a beautiful Christmas. Our son was baptized on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Your parents, your grandmother, my mom, and my brother, who was his godfather, were there, came up.
Yes, that was a great Christmas.
Beautiful Christmas. And that's when we kind of started to think about what we wanted as a Christmas and Advent traditions as a family.
Right.
And so one of the things we did when Jonathan was little was we used to make the purple and pink chain.
That's right. Oh my, with the little glue stick and you took the little thingies and you folded them and you're like, don't get glue. Don't eat the glue, son.
Stop. And in there would be a scripture passage that just walked him through the Christmas story all the way to Christmas.
It was like our little Advent chain.
Right. It was an Advent calendar, basically.
Yeah.
And he got to take one off every day. And we did that for years. We've always had an Advent wreath.
Yes.
Right. You always bless the Advent wreath every first Sunday of Advent.
Right.
And then we usually leave the candles lit while we're eating, at least until dessert, or else there won't be any candles left at the end of Advent.
True.
And then on Epiphany, we do the house blessing.
Right.
With the holy chalk.
With the algebra, God's algebra.
Explain that.
Well, there's a little string of numbers and letters that you write on the over your door in chalk, because we have bricks, as you're reading the prayer.
Right. Do you remember what those are?
No, that's why you have the script and you print it out and you read it.
Anyways, you bless the house You can Google that.
You can Google that.
And then we had to make a decision about Easter and about Christmas as to what we would, what tradition would we have with our children. So when I was growing up, my mother's German. And so we always set out our shoes for St. Nicholas Day, and we got an orange and chocolate coins and a little something every St. Nicholas Day. You, not having grown up Catholic, never had heard of that.
No.
And thought it was gross to stick an orange in somebody's shoes.
Well, it was a little odd. Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
But you love St. Nicholas now because, he punched the heretic.
That's right. That's right. Little known fact of Catholic history. That's right. St. Nicholas punched Arius, the bishop, the perpetrator of the Arian heresy, punched him right in the face. Love it.
Okay, that's why Jerry loves St. Nicholas. Okay, so we decided.
That's right. St. Nicholas says, I'm here to hand out presents and punch heretics, and I'm all out of presents.
There you go. So we do celebrate that even to this day. And what we started was a tradition of giving an orange, the chocolate coins, and
a Christmas ornament
that has significance
for a life event of that year.
That year.
The greatest Christmas ornament ever was the year that we got Jonathan a penguin.
No, that wasn't the greatest. That was the second greatest.
What was the greatest?
The police car.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
But hold on. Now we can't share everything because our children do not live their life online. So we have to be very respectful.
Oh yeah.
But let's just say that the two best ornaments were the dancing penguin, because when he was in college, he had to take a Parks and Rec class. It was a requirement.
Ron Swanson was not there, unfortunately.
No. And his job was they had what they call the
ghost train.
The ghost train in one of our local parks. And so there would be like ghosts and
they had mandatory fun from their professor. Like,
right.
You won't do this for grading.
And Jonathan's job was to be a dancing penguin at the train station to entertain all the little kids.
The Thriller
from
in
Michael
a penguin
Jackson.
Costume. It was epic.
I still have that on film. And
we
one
still
day,
have it on film. And now every year for St. Nicholas Day, what does Jonathan get?
Well, not every year.
Almost every year.
Almost every year he gets something with a penguin in it.
Gets a penguin.
You know, he says,
and he's like, really, Dad?
When are we going to let that go?
When are we going to let that go? Never.
Anyways, the other one was, he might have possibly gotten a traffic ticket, which led to an epic story, which we will not share in the air. But needless to say, we got him a police car one year.
He thought that was hilarious.
He did laugh at that one.
He did.
That was pretty good.
He's like, well played, Dad.
And then there was the year he was a shepherd in the church nativity. So we got a little shepherd.
Yeah.
Courtney's were usually like, she has a spicy pickle. She
actually did get a jalapeno.
She got a jalapeno ornament
because we were being particularly spicy that year for whatever reason.
She's got a lot of angels.
Sweetheart, the first thing we put on the tree was
12, because
12
when the first
angels.
year of her life, they used to have that mail order, like Time Life Treasury, but it was for Christmas ornaments. And that's how I started to do our tree. Was I got the little beautiful porcelain angels. And so Courtney has 12 of them for the first year of her life.
That's right.
And so we have those. And then, of course, I think my favorite of hers is the little pink chucks, because she wore high tops.
Yes,
and
did.
so those are pretty awesome. And your favorite one on the tree that was given to you by St. Nicholas? You're looking at the tree. That's cheating.
It is cheating. Oh,
do you not remember?
See, I got the whiskey one.
The whiskey, you've gotten your G.I. Joe lunchbox that you used to have when you were in the 4th grade.
That's right. No, they made some nice ornaments when we were on the ship and in the squadron, so I still have those. I have the Enterprise ornament and the little P3 ornament made out of clothespins, which is pretty clever, crafty thing.
Yeah, we did that as wives.
And then the year I got you your big honking passport right up here.
Yes, I have.
When you went to
Italy for the first time.
Well, you went to. Yeah, when we went to the conference, the Women's European Military.
In Italy, in Rome.
Italy, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. It's been a long day,
Anyways, okay. So that is one of the traditions that we do in this house. The other one is we do Santa Claus, Sinterklaas,
Always the Germans.
I know that's very, very controversial today. Do you believe in Santa? And I grew up that way. Did you grow up with Santa Claus? Like you had to be in bed by a certain time or Santa wouldn't come?
Eleanor Pearl said you had to be in bed by a certain time anyway. But no, I got gifts from Santa when I was little.
When did Santa stop bringing you presents?
Well, that's a good question. I don't remember.
Santa in our house came always until we got married and left our house. And then he found us at the house where we were. Because Santa has always brought me presents, and I love Santa for it.
Santa's got the best surveillance system ever. He knows when you've been sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
He knows when you've been good or bad, so be good for goodness sake.
That's right.
You better watch out. You better not cry.
Okay, anyway.
You better not pout.
I don't pout.
Oh, you pout all the time.
I do not pout. I get irritated. It's a difference.
Anyway, so we did do that. We do that. Now we've had to make some adjustments over the years, obviously. And now that our yes, in like when for Easter, for example, in my house growing up, we had an Easter egg hunt. It was a big basket full of all the things. In your house, it was a chocolate bunny on the table on your breakfast dish.
Yeah.
It was very simple.
Yeah.
So we made a compromise early in our marriage because I was doing both holidays very over the top, as I
shocking.
am.
Over the top. Who'd have thunk?
And you were like, Mary, we can't continue to do this. We need to choose. So what we do for Easter is on Good Friday, we color the Easter eggs. On Holy Saturday, we make the German donuts. And
see, really, the whole thing about holidays is it's all about
the food,
the baked goods and the food,
and
right?
Jesus.
Well, yes.
He is the bread of life.
Yes.
But then we also have cinnamon rolls and speculaccia.
Right. But then you have deep fried dough that you're covered with cinnamon. So that's
for Easter.
Glorious.
Westphalian Krapkas.
Yes. So, and then in at Christmas we make the speculachas.
Yes, we make those always the day after Thanksgiving. And then we have dough that lasts throughout the month of December.
Because, a batch of speculachas makes
about 50 dozen.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
It's very large. It starts with 5 pounds of flour and 2 pounds of sugar.
Like you're pretty much eating these cookies until
they last a long time too.
They do, and they're delicious with eggnog and coffee.
So good. Anyway, so those are a few of our traditions. Now, our religious traditions are kind of interwoven into those. Like today starts that when we're filming this starts the Christmas novena, the St. Andrew novena. That's the one where we say it 15 times, and we get into kind of a
at dark, in bitter cold.
Yes. So that's
as we're
another
saying, we're snuggling under the covers because we keep talking about the dark and the bitter cold.
So anyway, so that's another thing that we do. And then, of course, we talked about in our last podcast our daily rosary for all the prayer intentions in Courtney's prayer stocking. So we've got that. So we do quite a few things, and nothing has really changed over the years, except for now that our son is grown and married with his own family, then we are kind of adjusting to what they would like to do because that's their family and they get to choose that for themselves. Right. So, we'll see what happens here in the next few years. It'll be interesting.
Yes.
So within these traditions, Jerry Don.
Yes.
Tell me your favorite. First of all, tell me your favorite Christmas gift you ever received. Just one, your favorite Christmas gift over the almost 59 years you've been alive.
Uh-huh.
Your favorite Christmas gift.
Oh,
now. I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Oh, now?
Yes.
Well, okay, my favorite Christmas gift of all time probably would be the year that I got G.I. Joes.
G.I. Joes.
Yeah, because I got the Jeep, I got the helicopter.
Wow.
I got G.I. Joe, and I got like all the accessories. It was an awesome Christmas.
How old were you?
I think I was, 5 or 6. See, that was back in the real G.I. Joes, not the little ones. These were like
like Barbie size. Because in my house, G.I. Joe either kidnapped Barbie or he saved Barbie.
Right.
So my favorite Christmas gift ever of all time.
Did I mention that back then you got a little cannon that fit in the Jeep that would actually shoot things? Because that was the real key to happiness. You could shoot the dog with the G.I. Joe gun.
Wow.
Yeah,
you could shoot the dog.
Yeah.
Poor Bruno.
No, this was before Bruno. This was back when he had Priss, and she wasn't a big fan of that either, but it was hilarious. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, you have a lot of imagination as a kid.
Yeah, and you just want to shoot things, but okay.
Pretty much. Yeah, your point.
My favorite Christmas gift was when I was in the 4th grade.
Uh-huh.
I received the Donnie and Marie Barbie dolls. And
wait, they made Barbie dolls of Donnie and Marie?
Oh, yes. I got those in their purple outfits from their opening number.
With the leisure suits and the huge collars and the bell bottoms?
Oh, yes. It was beautiful. And
I got a little bit country. She's a little bit rock and roll.
Anyways, I got the Happy Family, which was the Barbie knockoff from Kmart. And so you had a mom and a dad and 2 children, and then Donnie and Marie.
Family.
And they were sitting in the Barbie airplane. So it was like this
you got
case.
The Barbie airplane.
Yeah, well, it was like a little piece of luggage, and you opened it up, and they were in an airplane so they could travel around the world.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. It was
that
just
before
the
or
best.
after your brothers hung your Cabbage Patch doll?
Okay, that was later. We will not discuss that. That's a moment of deep, deep trauma for me. And the counselor and I will figure that out. Thank you so much for playing. Anyways, that's my favorite.
So actually, you want to know what my favorite Christmas story ever is that I always tell people?
Well, I was going to ask you a different question, but okay.
No, go ahead. Ask me the question.
No, you've already
opened
the door.
So this is a true story. Okay. So one year, so my parents were very, very active in our local Lutheran church.
Well, okay, I'm going to stop you there.
Yes.
You need to start with your parents were very, very frugal people. They had lived through the Depression.
Yes.
And your mother insisted until the day she took her last breath
that you would reuse wrapping paper, right?
She would
Who's with me on who grew up with this, right? When you went to open your Christmas presents, when you were old enough to have one, you would get a little pocket knife. I had my Cub Scout knife. And you would carefully slit the tape on the present, and you would take the wrapping paper off very carefully, and then you would fold it all up.
You would fold it in half and hand it to your mother.
And hand it to mom,
because she insisted,
who would put it in a box.
She insisted that they paid for your brother and sister's college education because they used the same wrapping paper year after year after year.
So
she would iron it.
Yeah. So when you were wrapping presents, you'd have to kind of Tetris and go, does this paper look like it'll fit?
Yeah, because it was already cut for, know.
Excuse me. So so you'd have to go, nope, that one's too small. No, that one's too big because you don't want to waste it either. You want to overwrap something. So it was always sort of a trick.
See, and in my house, you got to that gift any way you could. Like nobody saved any wrapping paper.
The stuff just flew like confetti.
Yes.
So, okay. So back to the story now, right? So Eleanor Pearl, right? So
they're very involved in the Lutheran church.
So they're very involved in the church. So I think that I was, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 maybe. So every year when I was a kid, our church did the Messiah, right?
The church choir
Messiah.
did, yes.
Church choir, full orchestra.
Was it just your church choir or was it like all the Lutheran churches together?
We might have had a couple of ringers, but it was mostly our church choir. Okay. So one year, my brother was playing in the orchestra and my mother was running the kitchen.
What did your brother play?
He played trombone.
Oh, just like you. You were both trombone players.
That's right.
Don't even.
I'm gonna.
No, you're not.
Yes,
Keep going. Your mother was in the kitchen.
So my mother...
what did they have in the kitchen? They make dinner every night
for
them?
Right. So they would have like 3 performances over the weekend, and the big performance was Saturday night because after and
this is Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, after the Saturday night performance, they would have a big dinner in the church hall. And that was the year my mother was running the kitchen.
What was the year your mother was running the kitchen? So the year your mother was running the kitchen for the Messiah performance on Christmas Eve.
That my brother was playing in the orchestra.
This is what happened.
My mother's like, well, we just don't have time to wrap all those presents, so we're just going to put them all in a trash bag.
Did she tell you that beforehand?
Oh, yes.
So you knew that coming down Christmas morning that the hefty bags were...
Yes. So like the week before Christmas, everybody had their gifts in the hefty bag. It was tied up with lovely Christmas ribbon and you had one little tag on it. Now, what we were doing is we were feeling that hefty bag out, trying to figure out what the heck was in it. And they're like, well, that's a box. Can't really,
Is this year your brother got the Olivia Newton-John tickets that were on the bottom of a brick?
That might have been. I don't remember. It all blurs together.
Your mom put him on the bottom of a brick and put a rubber band around him. And he was like, this is so heavy. What could this be?
I know.
And it was the concert tickets.
Yeah. So that was perfect because Christmas morning you just go, boop, you pull apart the ribbon, you open the trash bag, boom, trash bag is down, and you get right to the gifts. Now this,
horrifies me.
And this didn't bother me at all. So our very good friend,
my bestie,
your bestie, Chrissy Lynn.
We call her Mrs. Christmas.
When I told her this story, we'd known them for like maybe a year.
Yeah, when you told her the first time.
The first time I told her, she was like,
she almost had a stroke.
And she comes up to me and she gives me this huge hug.
She's like, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. Oh, that must have been so traumatic. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, what? She's like, your mother put your gifts in a trash bag? And I told her the story. I said, yeah, this year she's running the kitchen for the Messiah and my brother was in the orchestra. So, and she's like,
Now, this is a woman who individually wraps every single gift in the family in a different wrapping paper.
Oh, yes.
Now, she doesn't waste. She's very frugal herself. So she's very careful about it and everything is bought on sale. But like she was...
No gift There cannot be two gifts with the same wrapping
No,
paper.
that is not allowed.
Now me, I'm like, use that wrapping paper up till that roll's done.
No, I take after my bestie, Mrs. Christmas.
Now, what about the families that like this child's gifts are all in this sort of wrapping paper? This child's gifts are all in, because that makes things easier to sort on Christmas morning, because that was always my job as the youngest, that I had to like schlep everybody's Christmas gifts to them. Yes.
Okay, so we always had our stockings filled.
Wasn't there this story about...
No. We'll get to that in a minute. But when we came out of our rooms on Christmas morning.
At what time?
Whenever Dad said we were allowed out of our rooms on Christmas morning.
Not before Dad said?
Not before Dad said. No. You had to stay in your room and your door had to be closed. And then Mom or Dad would open the door and say, you can come out now. And we just tear into the living room. And our stockings would be by our Santa gift.
Oh, that's right.
And Santa would set up the gift. Like one year, 3 of my brothers got the Hot Wheels, like the full, it took over the whole dining room. Like the full Hot Wheels track.
What did your mother think about that?
Well, she put it in the basement shortly thereafter, but the 3 of them got that. And that was like hours and hours and months of entertainment. They would rework that. And of course, all 3 of them are, well, one's a computer engineer, one's a fire engineer, and one's an electrical engineer. So they had a lot of fun with that. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, we, with like the Barbie airplane with, Donnie and Marie, like that was already set up. Like they were on their way on a trip and it was just the best. Or when I got my little stroller when I was like 5 with my baby doll in it, she was in it with a new dress. I'd had my baby doll, but.
Did she have earrings and shoes?
No, she was a baby, but I got a new stroller and it was so sweet. Okay. Anyways, those are very sweet memories. But no, we got into some mischief.
Yeah, let's talk about the mischief.
I know, it's shocking. I'm not sure if we've shared this story before, and I apologize if we have.
Oh, no, we have not.
Are you sure? Did you go back and listen to every single podcast
you've ever done?
No, but
I'm virtually certain. I mean, there's so many stories from your childhood we can draw on, but this one we have not done. Most of them have involved you being a delinquent at school.
This is a delinquent in the home. But anyways, I was 5.
So you were a criminal mastermind from a young age.
Oh, very young age. Mm-hmm. And, we had to stay in our room. And I shared a room at that point because I was only 5 or 6 with, like my brother slept on the bottom bunk. I slept on the top bunk. And then the other 2 were on the other side of the room. So,
because there were only 4 of you. 4
of us. Yeah, 4 of us at that time. And the 5th was on his way. So Chris snuck out in the middle of the night and he brought back to the room one of my mom used to put these little small candy canes on the tree. And so he snuck out and he got a candy cane. And I was like, well, and it had this little crinkly packaging. And so he didn't know what to do with the crinkle package after he'd eaten the candy cane. And I'm like, I need to go get a candy cane. You got a candy cane. I'm going to get a candy cane.
You got one. I get one.
So he sticks the crinkly package into my pillowcase. And so we take turns going back and forth for, I don't know how many hours we did this.
How big a sugar high were you on?
But we ate probably, I don't know, 20 candy canes.
Yeah, minty fresh breath.
We did. But those wrappers were in my pillowcase. And so my mother, when she went out to kind of fluff and prepare before us to come out, I think I was 7 actually.
Oh, wait, this is like Christmas Eve before your parents?
No, this is Christmas morning.
Oh, okay.
Early in the morning.
But your mother assumed you're in bed.
Correct. And so she notices that one side of the Christmas tree
is missing.
All of these candy canes. And she's like, huh. So she comes into the room with my dad.
She knew where those were.
And she says to us, the 4 of us that were in the room, she says, Santa Claus is very disappointed.
Oh, no, not the Santa Claus.
Because someone has taken the candy canes and we were just very disappointed. And you cannot come out to Christmas until you tell us who did it.
Oh, no.
And I am just laying there so still because every time I move my head, my pillowcase crinkles. So My brother's like, no, we didn't do anything.
We didn't do it. Not me.
And I'm like, no, we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything.
Crinkle,
And I'm trying not to move my head. And my dad comes over and he moves my brother's pillowcase. He's like looking for the wrappers. Right? And then he comes up to my bed and he just touches the pillowcase. And then he begins to crinkle and he goes, you didn't do it, huh? And I'm like, I just start crying. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Chris made me do it. And Chris is like,
wait. Chris
I didn't make you
made me do it?
Of course, it was never my fault. So that was the year of the crinkly.
Wait, what happened after that?
Well, I think my mother was tempted to take back my Santa gifts, but there was a little talk on God's mercy and grace and forgiveness, and I wasn't allowed to have any dessert on Christmas. Which was really, and I couldn't eat any of the chocolate in my, probably because I had already had like 15 candy canes and who needed more sugar.
Checking to see if your pupils were dilated or something.
But yeah, I wasn't allowed to eat dessert.
Wow, I love that. Chris made me do it.
Well, he was the first one to go out. He'll deny it to this day. He's like, you're the one that had the crinkly. Yeah, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, because apparently you were dumb.
Because I was stupid enough to let him put in the...
Hide the evidence on you. Yeah. Here, hold this smoking gun.
Yep. But then, I mean, that doesn't beat the one where my dad, when he was 5 or 6, was impatient. He was waiting at the top of the steps to go downstairs to, be with his brothers and sisters to open up all their gifts. And so he went downstairs and he opened up everybody's presents.
All of them.
Yep. And when they came downstairs that morning, he started handing them to them. And Santa gave you this, and whoever gave you this, and mom gave you this. Needless to say, his siblings were a little upset with him.
Wow. That's what I said. Take him out back and
take him to the woodshed. Yes.
Take him to the wood.
He was number 1, 2, 3, 4 of 7. So yeah. I come by it naturally.
Okay. So wait, hold on. We're not done yet. So we'd had Christmas morning, right? Open your presents, do all that. Mm-hmm. And then when we were kids, Christmas night, did you ever have those relatives or very good friends that they got you clothes for Christmas every year?
That would be my grandparents every year.
Right. So like for Christmas, my parents would get us our gifts and, but then that night, Roy and Rena would come, and Roy and Rena were my godparents.
Yeah.
And then,
your parents' best friends.
Yes. While they were still alive, their parents, right? So we had Grandpa and Grandpa Lindemann, and then Roy and Rena would come over, and you knew
that you were getting clothes.
You were getting clothes. You knew it.
See, we got to
because you got like the really nice
things to wear to Christmas church.
Christmas church, exactly.
So we always got to open up one present on Christmas Eve, and we still do that to this day. And that
did not open present. You did not open up presents on Christmas Eve with Eleanor Pearl.
Well, we did in my house, and the reason why is because Grandma and Grandpa Green always sent you your Christmas outfit.
Oh, so it really wasn't a present. It was just, here's what you're wearing, go get dressed.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So I never knew what I was going to be wearing until we got to open up that gift. But we never got to choose which gift. It was always from Grandma and Grandpa Green.
I can see your mother doing that.
Yeah. And then she'd be like, go put it on. We have to be at Mass.
We have to be at Mass. Let's go. Chop, chop.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So those are some fun things. Now, what is your favorite memory of Christmas as a dad?
Oh, okay. This was the year that I won Christmas. So when Jonathan
I didn't know it was a competition.
Oh, yeah, it was totally a competition. So when Jonathan was little, he was totally into Spider-Man and X-Men, right? Mm-hmm. Back in the 90s.
90s, yeah.
Saturday morning on Fox at a decent hour, not at the crack of dawn, but like 10 or 11, you had Spider-Man and X-Men. And of course, why do you have animated shows? So you can sell toys.
Get the action figures.
So one year we got him the X-Men action figures.
I'm sorry, we did not get him that. He asked Santa Claus for that, and Santa Claus brought him that.
Yeah, Santa's little elves got him the X-Men action figures and the X-Men jet, and there was something else. So Santa's little elf stayed up because, of course, you had to get the kid to go to sleep first. And boy, that was an exercise on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I was very excited.
Santa's little helper put together the airplane and the 100 little sticker decal things that had to go on it. And I had everything arranged.
You arranged a battle scene.
In a little battle scene diorama.
Santa had given you instructions on how he wanted it displayed. And so you followed Santa's instructions.
Yes. So,
right?
Yes.
I thought so.
So when Jonathan woke up and came out on Christmas, because this is when we were in Maine.
Mm-hmm. No, we were in Maryland.
Maryland.
Right? Or Virginia Beach.
Maryland.
When you were working in D.C.
When I was in D.C.
Still in the Navy.
Still in the Navy. And he came out and he's like, he's so excited. And like, he played with that all day, which is glorious because we're like, oh, he's playing. Cool. He's like, he just.
You could read your new books.
I could read my new books that I got, but he just played with that all.
Oh, that was one of his favorites. He still talks about that to this day.
Oh yeah. So that was the year that I won Christmas.
No, Santa won Christmas.
Whatever.
But anyway.
Whatever.
I think my favorite Christmas memory as a mom is really the day after Thanksgiving, when he gets in the kitchen with me and we make the cookies together.
And eat the cookies together.
Yes, we do eat the cookies together. But I mean, to this day, like they were here this year and
oh my gosh, he was so stinking excited. Mom, we're making the cookies
right? That's one tradition that will stay from his childhood. But
of course, he walked out the door with half the cookies.
Yes,
where did half our cookies go?
But this year, our grandson Jude had his first speckalacha.
Oh, now that was hysterical.
He was very timid about it in the beginning, sort of crunching on it.
You know how the little kids will examine things.
He was looking at it, he kind of put it on his tongue, took it out of his mouth, put it back on his tongue, and then just shoved the whole cookie in his mouth.
It's like nibble, nibble, shove.
It was great.
And he's just like,
it's the best. It was the best.
All right, I guess he likes them.
He likes them.
And then he's like, he's
looking for more.
For more.
Definitely a Lenaburg.
It was
so glorious. We were just laughing so hard.
Because before that, he got his first green apple.
Yes, which is one of Jonathan's favorite.
Little tiny slice of a Granny Smith. And he makes this like.
The lemon. Because it's so sour, the lemon face.
The lemon face.
It was great.
It was hilarious.
It was a lovely day. Anyways, and then with Courtney, it was very different. Christmas was very different with Court because, of course, she couldn't really interact with you, didn't get excited about toys.
She was excited about Christmas dinner, though.
She loved Christmas dinner. Yeah,
did love Christmas dinner.
The ham and the scallop potatoes and the green beans. That's what we typically have for Christmas dinner. Yeah. That's another thing. I found that we were kind of eating the same things, kind of like Thanksgiving. You eat the same things every year. We kind of mix it up a little bit with the sides. But
what's your point?
Easter is like ham, scalloped potatoes, a fresh salad, green beans,
Here's
almond
the rule. You don't mess with things around holidays, right? Like you don't experiment with new recipes. Ask me how I know.
I experimented this year. With the stuffing.
It was no bueno.
It was not good.
I'm like, you do not mess with stuffing. Now, this is not dressing, which is different for our Southern listeners, right? This is stuffing like you would stuff in the bird if we had a bird. We didn't have a full bird. We had a turkey breast this year.
So I made the stuffing separate. So I decided to use a new recipe.
No bueno.
Jerry was not happy with his wife.
No bueno. No.
Where's Grandma Stukin stuffing? I don't understand.
Seriously. No. Do not mess with the stuffing.
So, how would you tell a young couple, a young family who's just trying to sort of cement and create traditions for their family? Maybe take a little from their family of origin, maybe try something new and different.
Yeah.
How would you suggest they go about that?
Well, I don't know. We kind of experimented a little bit, right?
When he was really young.
When he was really young. So I think the ornament thing was kind of cool. We decided on that pretty early, and that was definitely something that we did together.
Yeah,
or we did as a family. That's a good question. I mean, I would say
it starts with a conversation. Obviously,
starts with a conversation. Maybe pick one thing from each family.
Well, I think I know.
Or now here's the wild and crazy thing, or just do something totally different.
Well, you can do something totally different, of course, absolutely, because you are your own family.
Right.
But I remember one time listening to a counselor, and she had said, write down the most important tradition in your family from your childhood. Write it down. Don't, like separately. Write it down separately. Like your top 5. But what is the most important tradition? And then that's where the conversation starts. Like, are you willing to let go of one if your spouse has a different one that was super important to them? So that's how the Christmas and Easter sort of came to be for us.
Right.
And then which one of the traditions that we have is your favorite to this year?
Are we talking Christmas too? Just to be clear.
We're talking Christmas traditions. Which one is your favorite?
I think the ornaments every year
St. Nicholas Day celebration.
Yeah. The significant ornaments, because it's always fun to go to kind of be nostalgic, think back across the year and go, what is like sort of encapsulates this year in an ornament, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the food, because it's always really about the food. I mean, at the end
for
of the
you,
day,
it is always
all about the food, right?
I think for me, my favorite, like I said, my favorite tradition as a mom was the cookie day. But
food.
Well, yeah, food. But I think more importantly, I just love being together. I love that time together as a family. And now that our Courtney's been gone for 9 years this year, that's hard for me sometimes, is that I know there are people missing from the table.
Yeah.
And then there are the people that choose to not be at our table, so
right.
that happens too. And you have to kind of work your way through that as well. But I think, you start with your favorites. Like Christmas is a huge deal for you. In your childhood, it was a big, big deal. And it was a big, big deal for me.
Because when we were kids, you only got presents twice a year.
3 times a year in my house. Birthday, Christmas, and then you got your Easter basket. So there was always a little something in the Easter basket.
No stinking Easter basket. You got your birthday. And see, when I was a kid, I got ripped off because my birthday was so close to Christmas.
His birthday's on New Year's Eve, sorry.
That,
for the first 18 years of your life.
For the first 18 years of my life, I never had a birthday party. True fact.
That is a true fact. Well, you had your first birthday party, but then after that,
and then the only person who actually got me a distinct birthday present, right? Because most of the time it's like, oh, we just put your birthday and Christmas presents together, which is okay because you get more presents on Christmas. But then you're like, it's my birthday, I didn't get anything. Well, you got it for Christmas. Oh, wait a minute. That sucks. My sister would always get me a birthday present, and she'd say, now, Jaredon, because she was one of 4 people on earth who could call me that. She'd say, now, Jaredon, you can't open this till your birthday. And I'd be like, it was
always a book.
And it was always a book. And I have them all still.
Yeah.
Because this year
will be the first anniversary of her not being here.
Of her death. So, but I remember that distinctly. My sister would always get me a birthday present.
So who is the one woman in your life that has given you a birthday party every single year since the year she met you?
Oh, you have.
Thank you.
But that was after I was 18. So for the first 18, I still didn't have one.
But we've been married longer than you were with your parents, so I win.
Mathematically, that is correct. Yep. Mathematically, you do win.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I win something.
You win.
All right, my friends. Well, we'd love to hear about your family traditions. It's always fascinating to see how other families celebrate the holidays. Are we prepared with our bat phone?
We
number?
Are. Ha, 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 ha. You can send us feedback by text or voicemail to 571-354-0351. That's
571-354-0351.
Or you can leave a comment. Please,
on YouTube?
On YouTube. Please follow us on YouTube.
Subscribe.
Subscribe on the podcast for Apple or Apple Podcasts or
Spotify.
Thank you. And now it is time for the
Not So Newlywed Game.
Not So Newlywed Game.
Oh, and also consider supporting us through Patreon.
Okay, here we go. This assumes that I can get the card out. Okay, this is a totally random card.
He did not pre-prepare.
As long as it is not.
If it's not scandalous.
Ho, 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 ho.
Am I answering for myself or for you?
Oh, no,
I'd like to answer for you. Oh,
no, this is for you.
Like
Here you go. Ready?
Okay. Yes.
Is it important to you to live close to your family? Why?
That is a very loaded question.
Oh, yeah, baby. I'll answer first because this is easy for me. Okay. We probably talked about this, brutally honest. We have had at various times very challenging relationships with my parents. And no, we were perfectly fine living at least one river away. That was somebody's
I required
role.
3, but okay.
At least one river and a full 2-day car trip away.
Because you had to think about it. You needed
'Cause you
to
had to
really
think
think
about
about it and pray about it to be. Now,
Correct.
with my family, I live within 3 hours of all of my brothers and sisters, except for one who lives in California. That being said, we really, our lives are so full and so busy with our own families, we really don't see each other that often.
At the holidays.
We see each other sometime around St. Nicholas Day and usually sometime in the summer. Now we see individually, like I'll go down with my nieces and nephews or godchildren or what have you, and I'll see them throughout the year, hopefully at least once. But I think it's lovely to have family close by when the relationship is strong and good. And I think it becomes really challenging when the relationship is challenging. So it's kind of a cop-out answer, but
Okay, helpful tip, because this actually happened to one of my guys at work. Don't volunteer somebody to host the family
yeah.
and have 18 people show up at their house.
Yeah, no.
No, that's
Don't
a
do
hard
that.
no. Don't say, oh, you're hosting Thanksgiving this year and everybody's coming to your house. I'm like, the heck they are.
The only person that has the power to do that is my mother, and I will talk to my mother before that ever leaves her mouth.
Yeah.
And because that's happened, she's like, would you like to host it? Which is basically you're hosting it. And we had to figure that out. But we did, and it's fine. And now whoever wants to host it volunteers.
There was trauma for the whole year after that. But anyway.
There was.
So
okay, second question.
This is a fluff question. How would you spend your perfect Sunday?
Oh, my perfect Sunday? Okay, since we're in the holiday season, I will describe my perfect Sunday.
Okay.
This Sunday, we have the opportunity to go to a Christmas market. And Jerry is grumbling at me. So Jerry is going to be grumbling for the 3 hours that I get to walk through the Christmas market. Because here's my perfect Sunday. I will go to Mass, receive our Lord Jesus, be with my husband, receive the Eucharist together. Thank you, Lord. If there's some way that we could see, our son, daughter-in-law, and grandson, that would be even lovelier. And then to have go to a brunch, a lovely brunch, or a lovely early lunch, whatever. And then explore a bookstore, walk through the shrine downtown.
You notice all of this is just a setup to drag me to the Christmas fair.
Okay. I've been married to you for 35 years. I have permission to drag you.
Okay. I just want everybody to know
and
out
then,
there that this is called softening up the target before you bomb it.
During the summer, I love to have friends over and we grill. It's a day of rest. So
Christmas markets are not restful.
Yes, they are. They're exceedingly restful.
No.
They are just delightful. They're filled with cinnamon and spice and people. And
you say cinnamon and spice and
cinnamon and spice.
Cinnamon and spice.
And it's just such a joyful time of year. And I can't wait. That's my if I had my druthers, you'd be taking me downtown to the big Christmas market.
Not going to happen. Keep wishing. Okay, so
what about your perfect Sunday, Jerry?
My perfect Sunday
in the holiday season, since we're in the holiday season.
Well, it's the same, whatever. So we get up, we make coffee, we go to Mass.
Very specific about the coffee. Of course. Sorry, continue.
Yes. On Sundays, I would almost consider coffee a sacramental. I'm just going to say. Yep. I'm just putting it out there, the verse, not ashamed. We come home from Mass and then I make you brunch. Usually biscuits and gravy.
Not every Sunday, but there's usually sausage or bacon.
There are pork products on Sunday.
Always.
And then my perfect Sunday is I might take the dog for a walk on a little adventure because by that time the dog is driving me crazy. And then
sitting on the front porch with a book and a bourbon.
And enjoying the weather in the spring and fall. It's restful. Now, having friends over and grilling, that is excellent too. That's always fun. Having the kids over and grilling or something like that, that's always fun. I mean, it's fun to go visiting, right?
Right.
That's
what Sundays were for.
Sundays are for
you go
visiting,
to church and
right?
visit.
You go to church and you go visiting. So that's fun. Christmas craft fairs on Sunday, not fun.
But it's going to be delightful this weekend.
Aren't you doing
there's another Christmas fair on Saturday that I'm volunteering at.
Yeah, you're like
at the
working.
children's craft table, which is So exciting. I can't wait.
Uh-huh.
We're making ornaments. They're going to color their ornaments, and we have coloring pages, and Mrs. Claus is there. I am there.
Are you going to come
for
home
the
covered
fun.
in glitter?
Probably. Actually, no, I don't think there's any glitter because we kind of, glitter is Satan's sweat. So no, we're not doing glitter.
Satan's dandruff?
Satan's dandruff. No, but I might have some glue. It might be a glue situation. But I'm excited. It's
Somehow
gonna be fun.
I'm not surprised that you're
So
in
you
charge
actually
of the
get your
kids' table.
Perfect. Well, I'm not in charge of it. I'm just volunteering at it. So you get your perfect Sunday this Sunday.
No, Saturday.
Saturday. You get it on a day early.
Well, that depends. Do we get to go over later and hang out with our friends
Probably.
afterwards
But
and bask in the glow of the success?
You get to just hang out and be with the dog and
It's glorious.
And read your books and
Yes.
just be in silence.
Yes. Much, much, much silence.
Oh,
I will
I'm
not
in
be
silence
coloring
5 days a week.
I will not be coloring sheets with 5-year-olds.
It's so grand.
That's why you're the grandmary
Oh,
and I am the grandpa.
I got all of these boxes of crayons, brand new crayons. Do you know how awesome brand new crayons are? Oh, it's like a drug. Brand new crayons, the sharp edges. Nobody's like taken the yellow crayon and gone over the brown crown with it. So the brown crayon is mixed with
this
the yellow
thing is really
crayon.
going off the rails because now you're talking about marine snacks. For my
Marine snacks?
Yeah, for my Marines
They
out
eat
there.
crayons? Okay, never mind.
We'll
I don't
get
want to
that-
know.
We'll get that part later.
Anyways, so thank you everybody for joining us for this week's
who would
Mary
go?
and Jerry podcast on
right.
family traditions. And
That's
like I
right.
said, we'd love to hear about your family traditions. It's always such a joy to hear from you. It's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And, if you have an idea for a future podcast, we are certainly open to that and would love to hear what you'd like us to talk about. So never fear reaching out to us either on Instagram or on our bat phone at 571-354-0351. That's 571-354-0351. So until next time,
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows,
he knows when you're awake.
He knows if you've been bad or good.
So be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Until next time, friends, God bless.